All right, so now we've gotten all the way through CAD 27. We're going to start in chapter 5 in the book. We're going to do something a little different. This is what's known as orthographic projection. Now, orthographic projection is when you take a physical part that's drawn in 3 dimensions and you convert it into a 2-dimensional drawing showing all 3 sides. Now, in the United States, the convention is to do the top, the front, and the right side of the part. Okay? And the front is always looking at the picture basically from the lower left towards that face that faces towards the lower left. Now, if you look in your book, you'll see what I'm talking about. And if you don't have a book, get one. Now, we're going to start off with getting our things ready. So we're going to have a new drawing, right? And we're going to just start from scratch and do imperial feet and inches. Okay, so there's our drawing. Now, first thing we want to do is we want to open up the layers. Okay, so we're going to need a few layers for this. So we're going to create some new ones. So go ahead, hit your new layer, hit alternate in, either or. And we're going to name it. Like this one is going to be construction, but I am going to just abbreviate that. And we'll make that kind of a blue color. Because we want it to kind of fade into the background a little bit. We don't want it to be prominent. The book says to make it white, but the book is known to be wrong sometimes, and this is one of those times. And then the other time, we're going to just call this object. And that's what we're going to use to draw our actual object that we want to draw. And we'll make that white. Okay. Now, we're going to need a couple more layers too, because we got to show some other things. So I'm going to set up one called center for centerline types. Okay, we'll make that red. And we'll give it a line type. Now, to give it a line type, come underneath line type and hit where it says continue. Here, I'll stretch that out so it'll say continuous. So click on that and it's going to bring up the select line type dialog box. First thing you want to do is you want to load up your line types. Center 2 is what I like to use for center lines because it's more closely matches the line type for hidden lines later. So we'll go ahead and pick that, make sure it's highlighted and hit OK. Now you'll notice you got a center line, it's red, and it's got the center 2 line type. So we're going to do one more line type. Hidden. We'll make that green. And we'll give it the hidden line types, remember. Click on that, load. And on this one, just want hidden, just regular old hidden. And we'll highlight that. And then we've got our layers that we want set up, okay? Now we can close that dialog box. And we're gonna change our active layer to construction. All right, now I'm pretty much following the book tutorial on this one to show you how to do this, just so you know how to set it up, okay? So we're gonna set up construction lines. So we're gonna draw, and we're gonna drop that drop down box, and you see this third one down. The first one is spline fit, second one is spline CV, and then, construction line. We're gonna click on that, and we're just gonna come down here kind of close to this thing, do one vertical and one horizontal. And there you go. So there's your thing. Now we're going to offset this line over some distances and offset this bottom line up some distances. And in the book it'll show you how. So you're going to use the offset command. Hey, it's time for first block. So we're going to do our offset command. So the first offset we're going to do is going to be 5. And we're going to offset this 5 this way. Now the second offset we're going to do is going to be 2.5. And we're going to go 2.5 this way. Okay. Now, our drawing, our face, is going to end up being right in here. Now, I want to have some space between the 3 faces. We're going to have a face here, and a face here. So I want 1.5 inches between those. So I'm going to go ahead and offset 1.5. All right. And then our last offset is going to be 3 inches. We'll do that. So 3 inches, if you're following along in the book. Now, once you get that, we've got our 3 spots. So I'm going to change to the object layer. I'm going to use my rectangle command, and I'm going to make a rectangle here. I'm going to make a rectangle here. And I'm going to make a rectangle here. All right. Now, I'm going to grab all 3 of those rectangles, and I'm going to hit this button right here, explode. And what that'll do is that splits it into each individual line. So now that we've got that, we're going to start doing some offsets. Okay, let's look back at our picture that they have at the beginning. It's the locator part is what it's called. It's on page 5-4. So you can see the dimensions of that thing and what we're trying to do. We're trying to take that thing and make it into 3 views. One looking from the top, one looking from the front, and one looking from the side. Okay. Now, just for the fun of it, I'm going to put some text on here. Okay. So we'll use text, And this is going to be my top view right there, okay? This is going to be my front view. And this is going to be my right side view. So now we know what we're doing, okay? So we got this together, okay? We've got our top, front, and side view set up. Now we want to start doing some stuff. So if we look back at our thing, we know that this top part over here is going to come over 1 inch, okay? So we've got a piece that comes over 1 inch, and this bottom piece comes up 1 inch. So we'll just offset that. Now, since that came over 1 inch, this has to come over 1 inch, and this came up 1 inch, so this comes up 1 inch. Now we're going to trim. Trim that out, trim that out, and trim that out. If you look back at our piece, you will see that we've got our sides. So we go on to the next part. We want to offset this 1 inch and this 1 inch as well. So offset, one still, so one there and one there. Now it wants us to do a corner, and it says come back 1.75 and come down 1.25 and go this way. You could do that, or you could do it the easy McLean simple way. Let's go to chamfer, okay? Go back to distance. We've done this back with the C that we drew back in the first chapter, but this is a little different. We're going to do two different distances. We're going to do our long distance first, 1.75, and then enter, and then 0.25 for our other one. So we're going to pick the longer line first, and then the shorter line. It didn't work. I missed. There we go. Now it's already still set, so we got to make sure that you don't miss like I just did. I got to play more Fortnite. Select first line, select second line. There we go. So there's my two corners. All right, so that gets that done. And we need to come back 2.25 and put a circle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offset 2.25, okay? And I'm going to offset this line here. And then I'm going to use 2-point circle. Pick a point here, pick a point there. There's my circle. All right, so now we'll trim. And there we go. So our top view is pretty much done, okay? We've got some corners to do, but that's it. But the corners are pretty easy. We're just going to come up 0.5 this way and 0.25 this way, so I'll offset 0.25. And offset 0.5. Now, I'm going to use the fillet command, and I'm going to set my radius to 0, and I want you to watch what happens. Let me trim this out first. See how it makes a square corner? We'll hit spacebar, we'll do this one. So remember, if you set your chamfers or your fillets to 0, they make 90-degree corners. And that gets that done. All right. Now, what we want to do is we want to transfer some of this stuff down to our other view, like this one over here. Okay? So we've already got this transferred, so now we need to transfer all this stuff. So what I'll do is I'll go back to my construction line, and I'm just going to draw a construction line across there. Then I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to start at this point, and I'm going to put me one here, put me one here, put me one in the center of that, put me one here, here, get this one as well, and that one. So now I got all these lines. This gets confusing, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim. I'm not going to get the top or the bottom, but I'm going to get all of these, and then I'll trim out in here as well. All right, so once I've got that, now I can transfer those same lines the same way. I'll copy, pick the end, go to the end points of these lines. Now, what that has done is that's allowed me to transfer these corners here, okay? So I know that's going to be a solid line, so I can just draw a line. Let me change my layer back to object. That's that one. And we got one there. But that one won't be seen, so we're going to have one here. Spacebar twice. Basically, it's every other one. Now, the one down the middle is going to be a center line, so I'll change that to the center line type. And then the other two will be hidden, so I'll change those to hidden. And then we got our hidden lines. All right, now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to freeze the construction layer. All right, so there we are, okay? So that's got all of our stuff. And it's all hidden, and we got our three sides. Now we're going to have to do some trimming, okay? So we're going to use the line command, and we're going to make these two inclined lines that start here and go down 30 degrees this way, okay? And that's going to be on the object layer. So let's make sure Pac-Man is set to 30, okay? We're going to start here, and we're just going to go down 30 degrees and stop at the green X. Repeat on the other side. All right, so there's that. Now, we're going to trim up a little bit. Get these off. Get these off. That'll trim there. That'll trim there. And we've got our line. So now, see this, if you were looking at this piece, this direction, you would see this face. If you're looking at it from the top down, you would see this face. So we got to figure out where this is going to happen. So I'm going to turn my construction lines back on. Go back to the construction layer. Put one there. See, I'm lining up, but I'm not clicking until I get here. Put one there. All right, now I'm gonna bring one down. So there's my spot, right? So this is gonna come up and then come down this way. So basically it's right there, and it comes down to here and goes across, okay? So let's change to our object line. That lines up with that, right? And this line will start at the bottom and come up to here, and it'll go across there. And that's our side view, or our front view, looking at this, okay? Now, the only other thing we got to do is show how these hidden lines go from there down, right? That is that. So we got to have a center line through here. Always want to mark the center of your object, of your and now what I'll do is I'll take this, rotate, pick the center, copy. That marks the center point of my circle. Now, the last thing I need to do is a hidden line that shows that this cut goes all the way through. So I'll line it with this and bring it through there, and we're golden. Once again, we'll go back, turn off our construction layer, and we've got our stuff, okay? Now, you don't have to put this text on there. I just put that to demonstrate which sides we're doing, okay? This will be the top, this will be the front, and this will be the right side, okay? So once you've got those, you're good to go. So we're going to save this. We're going to call this Chapter 5 Practice. And we'll save it somewhere else, though. There we go. And that's basically how you do orthographic projection. Now, I am going to go through the ones in the chapter and kind of help you out with them, but we're going to use these layers that I just did for all of them. So let me show you how to make sure that you don't have to set this up more than once. Once you've got everything set up, let's go ahead and turn all the layers on, okay? Now, we're going to save that once, and then I'm going to erase everything, okay? Just boom, boom, and we're there, okay? Now we're going to put it on the object layer, and we're going to save as, okay? And it's that fourth one across, not counting the A, but 1, 2, 3, 4, save as. And our next one is going to be CAD 28, right? So we'll just save this as CAD 28. And once we've done that, we can move on to CAD 28, and we'll do that in the next video.